Welcome to the 2021 Perpich Commencement Ceremony. My name is Bullen, and I'm the Assistant Principal and Chair of Studio Arts. This year has been coined as an unprecedented one.
Honestly, that word has been used way too much. We have all learned new ways of being in life and education, teaching and learning. It's been an unusual year. In that light, I ask you to join me in acknowledging all the hard work our staff and teachers have created to support our Perpich seniors in making it to this day. Our teachers have worked hard to find ways to connect, engage, and deliver academic and arts curriculum. And with their hard work, learning and creativity continued. Please welcome our amazing Perpich faculty and staff. We have all learned new ways of being in life and education, teaching and learning. As I said, it's been, thank you, an unusual year. We didn't plan that. In that light, I ask that you join me in acknowledging all the hard work. I'm sorry. An unusual year in everything. An unusual year in teaching and an unusual year of learning and presenting. The class of 2021 has persevered. From the shy, nervous junior to the self-aware senior who projects their voice that much louder, who has more intent and trust in their brushstroke, the line, the form they make, the photo they take, the dance they create, the story they write, the song they sing, or the act they perform. Despite distance learning, a week here, 2 weeks online, they have persevered. Please welcome the class of 2021. Running a state agency has its challenges. Running a state agency that is also a public school and during a pandemic presents all sorts of new challenges. Our executive director has worked countless hours behind the scenes, sorting through legislative policies and procedures, safety plans, and budgets and state mandates. Necessary and important work. In my eyes, just as important, he asks questions of our community and shows compassion and empathy for our staff, students, and families. He cares about the school and the people who make up our Perpich community. Please welcome Perpich Executive Director, Dr. Charles Rick.
Good morning and welcome, members of the 2021 class at Perpich High School, family members, faculty, staff, Chair Linda Brobeck, Board of Directors, Principal Conn McCartan, and Assistant Principal Rebecca Bullen. It is an honor to be part of the 2021 graduation ceremony at Perpich Center for Arts Education. Graduation is recognized as an important step in the lives of this year's graduating class. No one could have imagined this past year with all the changes and problems brought about by the COVID-19 pandemic. We made it through the year. You made it through the year. It was not easy and something all of us will remember for a long time. Words are hard to find on how to describe the school year. I can only imagine the stress you went through completing your senior year at Perpich High School. In part, your success is due to the dedication and hard work of the staff and what they did on a daily basis, not knowing if we were going to be in distance learning, hybrid learning, or in-person learning. More importantly, I commend you for sticking with us and making necessary changes to get to today. I want to thank the parents for all their support in the ups and downs your child experienced these past months. I want to think at the end of the day we are all better off having lived through this experience. Finally, I encourage you as students to follow your dreams and hopes as your presence at Perpich helps set a tone for future students. Congratulations.
I have been a part of the Perpich community for 11 years. As you know, it's a special place. I shared with seniors yesterday that as we started the school year in hybrid, I was concerned that distance would impact community. They proved that wrong. They have held themselves up, and when that was not attainable, those around them stepped in and supported. Today's student speaker is a perfect example of positivity and stepping up. Online or in the hall, Savanna Ferrera is a beacon of kindness, intellect, and compassion, serving on the student leadership team, co-creating a school magazine in the middle of a pandemic, and one of 2 seniors in the literary program. She advocates for a creativity, expression, and connection. I always feel better in her presence. Please join me in welcoming the senior class of 2021 speaker, Savanna Ferrera.
Hello, just give me one moment to put on this. I'd like to personally thank all of you for being here, friends and family, to witness and celebrate the end of a journey for this year's soon-to-be graduates. We are delighted that you came to the Perpich graduation for the class of 2021, whether through the streaming service or here in the audience. And I'd also like to give a special thank you to all the Perpich teachers with us today who have helped us come so far. We couldn't have done it without any of them. Not without Amy's pre-recorded lessons she put hours into making. Not without Craig's contagious joy for the beauty of art. Not without Bob's groovy charisma, or without Joao's supportive manner, and certainly not without Pickerel's daily morning jokes. They are the foundation for this place of freedom, because that's what Perpich is. Perpich is artistic freedom, where we, artists of all different forms, come together as we find our place in the world around us. We are Perpich. All of us and each of us. Graduates from 20 years ago, graduates from last year, and us today. If you wear that dedication necklace in public, you're bound to meet one of them. I met a literary graduate at a ragstock in Uptown, and she was kind enough to give me a discount. And I've heard stories of people getting into Valley Scare for free because the employee recognized the Perpich pendant. Of course, Perpich is much more than saving a couple bucks at lucky times, but it's about that immediate respect for someone else because of a community shared. When we applied here, regardless of our nerves during the auditions and the interviews, we chose to embrace ourselves, our artistic power, and a hope for a future unknown. We wrote our stories, recorded or wrote music or a monologue or a dance, and submitted artwork with the intention of taking our skill and soaring with it. And now here we are. We're about to fly. And even though we were separated this year, Perpich was not. We were together, even though we weren't. Art is a power that transcends physical boundaries. As we sat in our rooms dealing with connection issues and forgetting to unmute ourselves, we were still communicating, we were still creating, and we were still discovering. Cameras on or cameras off, we were still there. Many of us were constantly fighting the urge to lay in bed all day and sleep the pandemic away. There were many struggles to overcome this year. Wi-Fi outages and fuzzy screens, screaming audio feedback, and laptops losing their battery in the middle of class. We lost the sociability that we always thought we'd have, and we were physically alone for a large part of our year, our only communication being mostly through that screen. Yet, here we are, together, at the finish line. If we have the strength to overcome this, I'm sure that we can handle what life will become in the future. I'm sure that we will grow with it and adapt to it. As artists, it is our right to take the world, to perceive it, to understand it, and work to change it. Sometimes, like this year, they are quiet fights, fought in the home. And also, like this past year, some fights can only be won together, through assembly of the people to demand social justice, equality, or freedom. Returning seniors. We had the opportunity to experience Perpich in its pre-pandemic state, without any space between us at all. I sometimes find that I mourn the experiences that we may have had. I miss what could have been move-in day, when we all ate food under the shade of the trees and met each other for the first time. I miss what could have been another bagel day. Last year, Conn must have bought out all of Panera's produce for the day and brought it here to Perpich. We celebrated Bagel Day, of course, by eating all those tasty bagels, but we also played a bagel Kahoot and recited bagel odes. I miss that we won't be throwing a junior into the pond this year to keep the tradition alive. Yet, I urge us all today to not dwell. COVID-19 could not disconnect Perpich, though it forced that space between us. Art exists where you are. Art exists in that powerful place in the very core of you, and I can only hope that for all of you, Perpich has only strengthened that ability and that passion. That your art is like a flower inside that always blooms. And to all the new seniors, know that you are strong, to leave the place you were during that time of unknowing and fear, to change schools so close to the end and experience a year distant in a community foreign, and to thrive regardless. Perpich was a safe space, both online and on campus, and I'll bet Carol, our guidance counselor, isn't like the other ones that you've had at your previous schools. She made all of us, lovingly of course, come to her office or a Google Meet for a senior meeting so that she could get to know you, to help you find your future, and because she wants you to feel that safety. She, among all the other welcoming staff and students, hope that you have felt just as much home here as the rest of us. Be proud of the work that you have done here 1 year or 2 years. You have fallen sick and you've gotten better. You have succeeded and you have failed. You've lost friends and you've made friends. The future is wide before us, and with it, let's keep creating, and let's keep communicating, and let's keep discovering, because there is no end to art. There is no end to the power that it holds. Our lives are ahead of us, and we can leave this chapter of our story knowing that endings are really just new beginnings. We can take all that we have learned from Perpich, the teachers, our classmates, and ourselves, and continue to build on what we have created here. You are powerful as an artist. Congratulations, class of 2021. We made it. So, Meera Safford is our only senior from dance this year. Dance as an art can exist by itself, but often thrives as a collective. Dancing through a screen in cramped kitchens and furniture-crowded areas proved to be difficult. But these dancers were strong in these times of struggles by supporting and lifting each other up. As a group, Meera and 6 new juniors choreographed a piece for us today. Each dance inspired by a single word. Mary Harding, the dance teacher, is at the heart of this production. I've often heard her say, "to look with love." That gesture and statement alone tells you what Mary strives to be as a teacher. So feast your eyes on their masterpiece. right. So, I'm actually next. This year, my friend Kepler and I are the only seniors in Lit. We've both been so grateful to have Shannon as our teacher. She has a power with words, and with it, has taught us how to write with a certain brilliance that's still true to our own style. Our performance today is a combined poem, written separately, about what Lit means to us. The first line is Kep's, the second line is mine, and the third is Kep's, and so on, but I'll be reading it all today. One thing to know before hearing it is that the Lit group last year had class in room 201, and right next door is the Lit Loft, a blue painted room with comfy cushions, big windows, and words all over the walls. This year, the Lit group walked over to the Gaia building, which is to the left of Perpich. When on campus, we were in a room that we call the glass box, because it's completely made out of windows. So in a way, we never left this building, because the Lit Loft is its own little glass box, and coincidentally, that room in the Gaia building is also a room 201. This poem is called Back into the Blue. This whole school fits inside my heart. Sunlight streams through the windows, for it's made my love grow exponentially. Thoughts wander like the wind moves the trees. My life force blooms like a flower in May. A room in the sky among the clouds writes itself across my pages before I even know the words. And which of those words can embody a feeling we can't name? One hand in unison, ready to create worlds. A pencil is like a paintbrush, and paper is the canvas. Creating friendship and joy. Inside those walls, I have seen what learning is meant to be. All together in a box made from glass. Where I met people like me who weren't as far away as they had always seemed. Weightless as we raise each other up. Art is to write, just as to write is art. Confessing a different love each day on paper. Letters arrange and become a cascade. We collect inside jokes as static does to fleece. My heart is in room 201. Storms outside the window and weathering the ones in our mind. The loft is like a soul, forever held in a delicate blue light. We weave our stories as a single being. We'll be leaving this home now. Our fabric is made of our past experiences and current wisdom, but the sun will still be streaming through. Our creativity and passion form one great quilt to cover ourselves when things get lonely. Words are the ties that bind us like a book. Thank you. All right, next up is the media arts students. This year, they've been experimenting with cinema, the technical skills that go along with that, digital and darkroom photography, and creating short fiction and documentary videos inspired by their own lives. Our media teachers, Lauren Bina and Gila Nikpe, are proud of the community the media students have created, how they advocate for each other, how they support each other, and their persistence to help each other with life both inside and outside of the classroom. This production will be a slideshow of sorts with mixed media art woven throughout. Please direct your attention to the screen for a brilliant collection of artwork. I'm happy to be introducing the best math teacher of all time, Amy Burge, to speak next. I had her for my stats class last year, and I can attest to her wonderfully bright and authentic enthusiasm for life. As I mentioned in my speech just a bit ago, Amy is one of the many teachers who puts all of her effort into helping us understand the materials in her classes. She does so with patience and positivity. This year, she was chosen as faculty staff among many other equally wonderful teachers because her positivity remained just as strong as it had ever been. Amy is a light when the world felt dark, and as students, we appreciate every kind word and all the endless support that she has to offer. So please welcome Amy to the stage.
Where's the other one? Oh, here's one. I'm supposed to do this now without crying? Parents, family, faculty, class of 2021. Yeah! You are finally here. You made it. Take a breath and enjoy the moment. It's hard to believe, isn't it? Graduation day has always seemed like such an asymptote, am I right? Right, okay, so for those of you who are hearing crickets and don't know what that means, let me give you a little mini lesson right now. An asymptote is a boundary, usually a line, that you can get closer and closer to, but never actually reach. Some real world examples would be like getting all of your laundry done, never happens. Achieving financial euphoria, or having 0 unread emails in your inbox. Close, but nope, never quite there. But here you are, the Perpich graduating class of 21, or what I like to call 7 times 3. Okay, I know enough with the math stuff, but just one more, because this one is pretty cool. Does someone have a calculator? Someone has to take out their phone. I know someone has a phone. You got it? Okay, cool. You know, back in my day, they told me that we weren't always going to have calculators. My teachers all lied to me. All right, in your calculator, I want you to type in 43 times 47. What do you get? 2021! Oh my God, that's cool, right? Right? But so let me just summarize this. Right, I've been holding that, like I didn't tell any of my classes. I discovered this and I've been holding that for weeks. Your graduating year is the product of the 2 largest consecutive prime numbers less than 50. That is pretty special, really, trust me. And for those of you who have got lost in all this, it's okay, just smile and nod. It won't be on the test. You might need to create an art project based on it, but you could just use your emotional confusion and angst. It's all good. So speaking of being uncomfortable, I'm wondering if I could ask you all to do me a favor. Underneath your seats is a piece of cardboard and some markers. If you could just pull those out and draw something on it that represents who you are as a person, and then hold it up in front of your face for the rest of the speech. And try not to talk, or laugh, or breathe. If you have something to say, just put it in the chat. Jay, can you watch that for me so I don't miss anything? Okay, thanks. All right, just kidding. There's no art supplies under your seats, and that's a really cruel joke to play in an art school, isn't it? I'm so sorry, but honestly, having actual faces with actual emotional responses in an actual auditorium is so weird. Even seeing your eyeballs over your mask is both refreshing and terrifying. But we should have been ready for this. As artists, we know that we get our inspiration and our information from the most unlikely places because we're paying attention in ways that the average person is not. So parents, this is what you missed. In 1995, the movie Johnny Mnemonic came out, starring Keanu Reeves. You should have been paying attention. Let me read you the synopsis that I found on the interwebs. Hold on. The internet has grown to become an all-powerful presence. Conglomerate corporations rule the international marketplace, and people struggle to define truth from the computer-generated falsehoods being spread. Too spot on, but wait, there's more. There's a dangerous pandemic plaguing the world with scientists racing to find a cure. I'm not making this up. You can Google it. This movie was based on a short story written by William Gibson in 1981. So in the future, pay attention. That's on all of us. I missed it too. Hindsight and all. But no matter what, during this past year, we have all been through a lot. This 1 year has felt like an entire decade, not just a series of months. It was like there was some quantum disturbance that ascended from beyond, twisted the very essence of time, space, and reality, and just when we became comfortable with the new normal, bam, something else would happen. Or maybe we're just living in an emerging art piece. I mean, what's our artist statement? What experience do we want our audience to walk away with? Every generation has their events that marks their historical timestamp. For my parents, it was the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor and the assassination of John F. Kennedy. For me and my generation, it was the explosion of the Space Shuttle Challenger in Florida and the attack on the Twin Towers in New York. And what do all these events have in common, aside from being completely American-centric? All of them can be linked to the question, where were you when you heard? Where were you when you knew that this thing had happened over there? But that's not the questions that future generations are going to ask you. You'll be asked, did you catch the virus? How bad was it? Did you watch the George Floyd video? Most importantly, how did it change you? Because you have been changed. You had to, because you survived and you struggled and you thrived and you found your way out the other side, and now you are graduating. Because you, like all the generations that came before you, are not defined by those events. Those are just time markers. Your generation has grown up with technology and is able to see the world in a way that prior generations could not. Social media has created amazing ways for all of us to connect with people that we know in our real lives and with those that we've never met in actual person. For you, this is completely normal. Your musical choices are much more broad and varied with YouTube and SoundCloud and Spotify. Your media options are practically limitless with Netflix and Amazon Prime and Disney Plus. And all these have made you open to a more diverse world. Your generation, Gen Z, is the first to truly embrace gender-neutral pronouns. You are the most racially diverse population in America, despite what you see here in Minnesota. The innovation you have seen in your lifetime has been astounding. In 2007, the first iPhone. In 2004, the first smartwatch. 3D printing, virtual reality, the birth control patch, e-readers, gene editing, digital assistants, a robot heart, and so much more. You've been surrounded by such amazing innovation, it's no wonder you're constantly plugged in. You might miss something. While I still have the mic, there are a few thoughts that I want to leave you with. First of all, be kind. Be kind to yourself and others. Say thank you. If you don't know what else to say when someone does something, just say thank you. Don't be a bystander. Be an accomplice for the greater good. And most importantly, laugh. Laugh every day. In closing, I want to leave you with some homework. I know you thought that it was done, but it's not. It's just won't be graded in the same way that you're used to. Your generation has a lot of things to fix that those of us who came before you did some work on, but never actually completed the project. So first of all, I want to say thank you. Poverty and homelessness, climate change, civil rights and racial discrimination, gender and queer inequality, healthcare availability, the refugee crisis, the income gap, gun violence, bullying, childhood obesity, hunger and food insecurity, and cryptocurrency. Now, that last one, I still don't understand, no matter how many times you try to explain it to me, but apparently it's a problem, so if you could just go ahead and fix that, that would be great. That's your assignment. Are you up for it? Sorry we left you with such a mess, but hey, you're artists, that's what you do. Take this mess and turn it into something breathtaking. Class of 2021, you are dismissed.
Okay. Next, you're about to witness a short scene inspired by the work of Anton Chekhov, a Russian playwright born in the mid-19th century, the same playwright who inspired their last musical. The three seniors performing are Jordan, Katia, and Jack. Perpich welcomed Jordan as a new senior this year. Katia has been in theater for 2 years, and Jack was a music student last year, which led him to explore theater this year. Tori, our sensational theater teacher, is recognized by all of the Perpich students to have a thundering personality and a particular humor that we all really do appreciate, both of which he uses to fuel his teaching in the theatrical arts. So prepare to be amazed.
I see a Meyer singing.
I go online every morning and have homework every evening. I have headaches and awful thoughts. It's as if I've grown old. During COVID, my youth and strength have been oozing away. The only thing that grows and strengthens is the one single dream. Graduation! COVID ending. That's also a good one. Only two things grow and strengthen.
When I woke up for graduation this morning, everything suddenly seemed clear to me, and I now know how I must live. I know everything. I must work, and in this alone is the aim of my life. My happiness, my bliss. How wonderful to be a high school graduate, one who rises at daybreak and brews coffee for those on the roadway, or smells like a burger. Brad, I just want things to get back to normal.
I didn't sleep well. I was up until about 4 a.m. practicing violin. Right when I finally got to sleep, the sun came up. The sun came up again. Hold still for a minute, you two. I want to get some photos. All right. Smile, say cheese.
Cheese.
All right, that's one.
What the hell?
Guys, come on. Oh, wait. All right, say cheese.
Cheese.
All right, that's two. All right, group one. Say cheese.
Cheese.
All right, that's three. I wish you both absolutely everything. Everything. You can move now. You can move.
I have a headache. Cravings for graduation. I'll go lay down. After graduation, I'll be free. How pleasant that'll be. What is it? Where? Where is high school gone? Where are all the things I learned from Amy and Pickerel and Joelle? Oh my God, I forgot everything! Everything is confused and we'll never try to get it back. At least we no longer have to listen to Twitter going on and on about how Chekhov's lists are marked by strengths for creating vignettes of men and women in an impressionistic manner. That's being a precursor to the existential thoughts of the Western world. Unlike the absurdists like Beckett, Pinter, Ian Esther. Jeez Louise. I have decided it's not my destiny to graduate. Everything is as God wills it. I will stay at home. I'm unready to leave. I need more attention.
The present is unbearable. But if we look ahead to the future, how fine it is. The world becomes so free and so spacious. In the distance, dawn is breaking. Life is the theater artist's palette. Let us create, Irina. Let us create.
I'm ready. Au revoir, Perpich.
Not au revoir, but goodbye. We'll hardly see each other again, only really on social media.
Well, shall we go?
Yes, let's go.
If only we knew. If only we knew.
For the visual artists this year, it has been a time of individual, artistic introspection to find the artist within. Jeremy, Cameron, Sandy, Kate, and Catherine are the studio arts instructors here. All are diverse in their facets of ability, which include digital art, resin art, and shrinky dinks, comics, sculpting, screen printing, painting, and drawing in the many ways that they come in. Jewelry and sewing. And the representation for this year's senior class will be a slideshow of their work, put together by the visual arts teachers. These artworks are either the student's favorite piece or one that they feel represents who they are. So take a proud look. James Allen and Kevin Holstein are the music arts teachers. As exceptional musicians themselves, they've been working with their students on writing music, playing music, recording it, improvising it, and learning about its different styles. Music is another art that thrives as a collective. Through screens, they still found a way to collaborate. Today, however, is their first live performance for an audience. So everyone, get excited to hear some magic, because that's what I've known all of Elena, Michelle, and John's music to be, and they wrote it together.
Hello, my name is Conn, McCartan, and I'm proud to serve as the principal here at the Perpich Arts High School. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we will present the members of the class of 2021 for graduation. Madam Chair, Dr. Rick, each of these students are eligible to participate in this ceremony, and upon verification of meeting all requirements of the Perpich Arts Center for Arts Education and the state of Minnesota, will receive a diploma from the Perpich Center for Arts Education. It is my pleasure to have them presented to you. Graduates, as you will recall, at the bottom of the stairs, either Dr. Rick or Board Chair Linda Brobeck will congratulate you. Rebecca and I will be handing out your diplomas depending on which side of the stage you come on, and the other one of us will congratulate you as you move across the stage. We are presenting diplomas at this time.
Jenna Barthel. Leo Dunn. Eric Erickson. Isabel Halverson. Laura Cooper. Niles Leonard. Sophia Lodermeyer.
Hank McHugh. Soraya Myers. Frankie Palmer. Kate Romanelli. Meera Safford. Meera Saba. Emily Woodruff. Essence Young. Charlotte Zahn.
So one of the things about having intimate ceremonies like this is that kind of a thing doesn't take very long, but I appreciate the fact that you did a wonderful job of showing every one of these kids the acknowledgement that they deserve. So before we officially acknowledge our graduates, allow me to just offer some thanks. Graduates, as you well know, you do not get to a place like this alone. You have been supported along the way by family and your home communities. Your schooling up to this time at Perpich set you up for success with us. The amazing faculty and staff here have provided you with a remarkable, culminating experience to your K-12 years. Thanks also goes out to everyone who helped make this event happen, and you've seen them scurrying around everywhere here. Your program lists members of our graduation committee who planned out this ceremony, and personally, I want to thank Cindy Ledaney and Rebecca Bullen for all of the work, who shouldered actually the bulk of the work leading up to today. Graduates, will you join me in showing our appreciation for all of these important people? All right, before we close things out, just a couple of housekeeping items. The graduates will process out as they came in. Families, I'd ask, please, if you would just wait until they have left, and then you can exit following them. You may meet your graduate in the front of the building. A reminder that students for our next ceremony are to be here by 11, so please don't linger too long, as we can really use the parking spots, and we want to have those families be able to come on into the building. So in your program it says, I am to do the closing. So allow me to close as we started. I'm Irish, I emote. Using the same theme that I started our school year with, allow me to address you now as I did at our orientations. No one wanted to have a school year like this. We endured a pandemic that impacted how we interact, impacted the economic situation of a number of people, and was a source of anxiety for a number of people. Our school is just moments away from the epicenter of a racial reckoning in our country, brought on by the death of George Floyd and Dante Wright at the hands of police. And yet, I can say we are fortunate to have experienced this year together. Why? To be in a community of artists, to be immersed in a learning environment that is infused in and informed by the arts, allows us to develop the kinds of skills to not just experience the world, but to examine it. It allows us not just to critique the world, but to have that critique serve as a catalyst for addressing improvements in each iteration we strive to create. The artist's response to the world is more than a reflection. It is also an expression of what might be, of what can be. The skilled artist knows how to use negative space to bring forth the image they hope for. They can see what they want to bring forth in their source material, and they do so by removing that which is not what they want to express. As Michelangelo said, I saw the angel in the marble, and I carved until I set it free. We sought to build that community together this year, one where we engaged learning, creation, relationship, and responsibilities in such a way that we could see the beauty in our challenged world and carve to set it free. It was true what the world told us. Mask wearing and social distancing are effective ways to stay safe in a pandemic, but we also adhered to those practices because we saw the beauty in caring for one another's health and safety. It is true that in our world for far too long, people who look like me have constructed structures that systematically disadvantage people of color. But we can see the beauty in critiquing and restructuring those systems and the benefit we all would realize because of it. Graduation ceremonies are referred to as commencements because they are actually a signal of a beginning, not endings. Today, we celebrate you commencing the next chapter of your lives where, hopefully, you will take your artistic mindset and see the beauty, the possibilities in the marble of whatever community you find yourselves in. Your work is no more complex and no more simple than to create a next iteration of our communities that builds on what is beautiful and chisels away that which is not. So with that, class of 2021, commence. Would you please stand now? Would you please face the audience? If you have a tassel, please symbolically move it from your right to your left. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to present to you the graduates of Perpich Arts High School. Thank you all for coming. Do you want to do a photo op? Do you want to do like a 1, 2, 3 and toss your hat if you got one? All right, here we go. Be ready. Are we going to throw it on 3 or after 3? Throw it on 3.